I just checked the situation with my travel card, the ANZ travel card, where I've got some money stored there. I tried to actually access the information online, but I couldn't get the login worked out. It's one of the most complicated logins I've ever come across. Not sure. I wrote down the password and the login name, everything, but it still didn't seem to work. Like I say, it's super convoluted and just impossible. But I do know how to use it, and I've discovered that gee, that place on the corner always does good business. I should check it out, but running out of time. Haven't got a big enough stomach to try all the places. I actually, but anyway, getting back to the ANZ thing, the problem is that I want to know how much money I have in euros on the actual card. I'll have to check the balance on the machine because it's definitely better for me to take it out in euros and change it in Vietnam, because I'll get a great rate there. And if I try to just take it back to Australia and get convert it back into Australian dollars, I'm going to get royally screwed. This is no surprise from a bank. I think the rate that they for the card is about 0.65 euros to the Australian dollar. Now I bought that same currency at 0.59, so you can see that they really are going to take their pound of flesh from me if I come back to Australia and convert it back into Aussie dollars. So I'm actually better off withdrawing it from the ATM up here and then exchanging it for Vietnamese dong at the currency exchange near Ben Thang Market, because I know they give a great rate. And it's seriously the best way to get value for my money. Otherwise, if I suspected this, and that's why I checked it out today, so otherwise if I just went to the bank, I'd lose, I don't know how much it'd be. It might be up to say $50 or something, but it'd rather be in my pocket than theirs. So no way I'm going to do that. But I don't know what the balance is in euros. I know it was 500 Australian dollars. I can roughly work it out, I guess. And because it was around 59 cents, 0.59 euros to the dollar that I got. So I'll just have to work it out relatively roughly, and then just take out as much as I can, because there's a fixed fee attached to it. So the more you take, the less the fixed fee is in comparison. So that's the way to go. But it's really used as a security backup. That's what I'm using it for, and that's fair enough to have it just in case there's an emergency. What I'll do is I'll take it out for the next few days just before I leave, and I won't be needing euros then anyway, so it'll fulfill its role. And the branch is just up the road here, the one I'm going to go to. I might do it on Monday just in case I've got some glitches with the banking. So, but yeah, I mean, it's not a dodgy place, Seville. It's reasonably okay, I think, compared to some parts of the world. So I don't feel in any great danger. You can go to dangerous, sus areas late at night, I suppose, but I haven't felt like that at all. So yeah, it should be fine. I'll do it on Monday, and it'll be the branch just up the corner here, which is supposedly one that may not have their own charges applied, and that's what I want to avoid. So we'll see, because it is actually euros. There's no reason why they should charge, but they're just greedy bastards. I'll try anything on, I guess. But I'm going to try another tapas bar, and was Dos de Mayo is the name of it, and it's supposed to be quite a good tapas bar. I think it's in the Michelin guide, so that's quite surprising, because they're much more casual than what I would have thought Michelin would want. And apparently it's decent value as well. And it's not that far from Eslava, so maybe that part of town's quite good for more sophisticated tapas. So that's why I want to check it out. It could be, so it looks more, I've seen the dishes, photos of the dishes, and they do look more interesting. So, not that I've only had one meal that was slightly subpar. Seriously, all the other tapas has been fine. It's good quality food. So I really haven't had much to complain about. The most basic one was the cheapest place I went to, which is understandable, but the food was fine, and even the cheap wine was fine. But it's a fair distance, so it's near the Alameda de Hercules, which is that long thoroughfare with the Roman columns. So I'm heading up towards that direction, but I'm not going quite that far. So I mean, you could spend a year or two here just checking out tapas bars and food. It's such a food society, it's just amazing. But you know, if I came back, I'd probably I'd stay in a more modest part of town, maybe out of town, and maybe use the do an Airbnb on the cheap, and or a hotel further out from the tourist area, and just use the metro to come in. I mean, that'll work. So anyway, but I don't know if I will be back here for some time. I'm not sure. I think I do prefer the pub scene in Vietnam. That's going to be my number one overseas priority. Yeah, I've got to head up past Mass. I won't even go back to the Mass supermarket now, simply because that woman, they're just so unpleasant to deal with. And I get I've pretty well got all the spinach I need for the rest of this trip, so it's covered, and it's cheaper at the local supermarket, so I've got no real incentive. The only thing that's cheaper is you can buy cheaper mineral water. That's about it. But it's hardly a big priority. You can just drink tap water. It's got a bit of a funny taste, but it's okay. It's a beautiful day anyway. It's about getting on to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I had a bit of food earlier today. It's all digested, so ready to maybe try this tapas at this other place after a good walk. And I always like having a walk. It's a good city to walk. This is quite a nice little area. I walked through here last time to get up to a Slava. So it's a nice tree-lined quiet area to relax. And it's a big day today because my football team absolutely crushed the Greater Western Sydney. I've only seen highlights of the match, and I heard the actual broadcast on the radio, but I couldn't get a video feed. So I'm going to try to get a replay of the match because it looked like it was pretty damn exciting. So when I saw the highlights, it looked really good. So I'll definitely follow that up. So yeah, it's been great. That was a fantastic result, much better than I thought. I thought it was going to be close games. So yeah, they did well. They did really well. I think the other side were pretty exhausted from the previous encounter with Collingwood. It was a tough game. So yeah, their batteries are a bit flat, I think. Go check out the GPS. Pray that it's working. As usual, took the wrong way, but I'm getting used to that. Yeah, there's a road just going down there. It should be much better track, and now backtrack to the left here, then do a right-hand turn. So I'll have to sort of go right around, totally indirect. So it's an adventure. Oh, lolly shop. Sugar heaven. And of course, no shortage of tapas bars. Every goddamn place. I don't even know where I'm seeing the best of the city because there's just so many to choose from. But I figure it's probably good to go with the Google listings. They don't list everything, of course. It's basically a massage list. Now this is where all that street works was taking place the other day. I don't know if it's going to still be the case, but I'm pretty sure that's the road that was being torn up. But once I get into this road, it should be direct, barring barriers that may well be there. It's fairly quiet down here. Yeah, there you go. So this looks familiar. It's the greenery up the end of the street. I don't think I'm far away now. Yeah, seeing I had beer earlier today, I think I'll stick to Vino Tintos, even though that costs a little more if you're going out. It is better value to have your red wine at home, but well, I'll save money on the beer too, so but they generally put the wine up a little higher. Glasses cost up to around almost €3 each, so $5, something like that. Whereas beer is probably a couple of dollars less, maybe. It's not a great difference. It's one of the easiest places to find, no problem at all. But it's super crowded, although it's tables available still, so it may not be too bad. But well, let's see. Chance my luck. Yeah, I tried to ask for a menu inside, but they didn't understand what I was saying, which is weird. So I grabbed one, and it was in Spanish, and I was trying to peruse through that. And someone came up and actually, now I thought, oh, bugger, I'll sit outside, so they got all this seating. That's just the thing I like about this place, is a lot of seating. Most places have a little bit of seating, it's always taken. But this has got a few spare seats, so. And you can see this is where the building works is taking place. It's all over the place over there. See that? Building works. But yeah, it's good they got outside seating, but they didn't know I wanted a menu. They just went totally blank when I asked that. But since then, communication's been very good. So I've gone a safe option with. There you go. Oh, and gee, I tell you, the meal came out quickly. That's about the fastest I've ever had. So that's whiskey with pork. So we'll see how that goes. This is the item on the menu. But like I say, it's great. I can sit outdoors and eat. It's really good. Pork loin in whiskey sauce. So it's in German and English and Espanol. So there you go. So yeah, it looks fine. So I'll give that a go, and I've got my Vino Tinto and I'm ready to go. This road should take me straight down to Eslava. I just want to check it out to make sure it is the one. Yeah, the only glitch with that, I got the food really quickly, but I couldn't get the damn bill, so I had to go and go into the bar. It's funny, the people in the bar just weren't as friendly, the staff, as the ones out serving in exterior tables. So I don't know what the story is there, but the guy serving me was very pleasant. He just forgot about the bill. He had a lot on his plate. These guys don't. They don't slack. They're full on. They're working straight. You know. It costs $6, so it's not the cheapest place I've been to. And I wouldn't say the food was. Look, Eslava is in a different league in my opinion. But I've only had one meal there. It's a bit unfair to judge a whole place on tapa. But the thing it's got going for it though is there's stacks of external tables, and that's very unique because it's in a plaza. And that's a bonus. So, yeah, it was okay. But no, look, I mean, yesterday's paella, that stood out. The food I had at Eslava, that was really good. I mean, and what I like about Eslava is you've got the bar, you've got a proper bar area, and you've got the tables out the front, and you've got a dining room as well. So you've got 3 different places you can eat. And I think that's great. But it's really about the food, and the food is just superb there. So, yeah, for me, Eslava is the place to eat. But I've got to say, the tapas bar I went to yesterday that had the paella, that was pretty damn good. And I've really never had abysmal service. I mean, they can't afford to. They just couldn't compete if they had abysmal service. And I'm pretty sure it's just over there. So yep, I pretty well just made it. Almost tempted to go inside, but I just don't want to eat anymore. But I just want to double check I know where it is. So. And it should be just up there, Eslava. So. Yeah, but I will go to Eslava if it's open tomorrow, possibly tomorrow, if not Monday. And I'm not even sure if I could put in a tapas on Tuesday, but I'd probably rather have my healthy meal in the morning, so I don't know. I might still squeeze in a tapas in the afternoon, but there's Eslava. Yeah, perfect. So actually it's finishing up. Oh, that was the good thing about this place I just went to, because they're just shutting now, Eslava, because they finish at I think 4 o'clock and they reopen at around 8. But the place I just went to, Dos de Mayo, they actually are open from 12:30 right through right till midnight. So that's good, because these split sort of hours can be a bit of a pain. But yeah, anyway, It was quite good. Another plaza here. It's a nice little part of town. They've all got their own sort of feel and atmosphere. But seriously, I think you'd have to be pretty stiff to get subpar tapas in this city. It's pretty reasonable overall. Oh, the other thing too I've got to say is I felt a bit self-conscious because I was the only person by myself. It just isn't done in Spain. Everyone's either a couple or more likely a group of people. Very herd men. The herd mentality is pretty big by the looks of things. It's personal taste with tapas too. I mean, it's unfair to bucket a place just because you had a meal you don't think is sensational. It's just, but people can judge very easily. They're given the power to do it on somewhere like Google. I don't think it's right to bucket a place unless you've had a bad experience. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.